Hi guys, I'm back again with another video. I'm going to show y'all how to make a procedural instance static mesh that you can add to and remove from, such as this right here. So I'm not going to go into any real in-depth stuff, but theoretically you could place walls between these, or you could have these as fence posts, and you could place fences between these. Now I haven't, this will be the first time I've done anything like this, but I'm going to attempt to do it. I am not going to make it from scratch because I'm not real familiar with making these videos quite yet. So if you would like to see more videos like this in the future and possibly from scratch, something more complex, then let me know and in the comments, and I'll consider doing it. If I get enough followers, I will start doing it. So let's get started. So first off, I made two custom events. One, create ISM, instance static mesh, and add ISM. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make an instance static mesh component. If you don't know how to make an actor, I'll go ahead and show you, but you probably should already know how. So you would right click in here, blueprint class, and you would select actor. You would name it, and then you would open it up right here. And what you're going to do is you're first going to create a variable. You're going to call it ISM or whatever you want to call it, instance static mesh. And you're going to come up here to the variable type, and you're going to type in instanced static mesh. And as you're typing, you'll notice that it will come up right here. Instance static mesh component, object reference. That's the type you want. So once you've created that, you're going to create another one. And this one you're going to make it a static mesh. And you're going to make it an object reference again. Once you've done that, you'll want to make an instance static mesh counter. We'll make it of type integer. We'll make it instance editable. Also, you're going to want to make your static mesh instance editable. You're going to make a vector, call it offset. You're going to make a copy of that or duplicate it by right clicking it and duplicate. And you're going to call that current position. That's going to be a vector as well. The offset itself will be instance editable, not the current position. Only one of them needs to be instance editable. And then you're going to make a wall material elements. You're going to go here and you're going to type in material interface, and you're going to go to object reference. And then you're going to select this pull down menu, and you're going to go to array. Right there where the circle is, you're going to click it, and it'll pull these up, and you're going to make it an array. Now, I searched the internet for this, and I only found out about it because that's how they do it over here in this maze. I could not find anything in reference to it except for this. And if you look into the documentation, you'll get a better idea as to what it's doing. But just looking through it quickly, I wasn't real sure. So I'm not sure how this works, but I'm assuming that it's going to set the material of this instance static mesh for that mesh that was added to it, or something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I might ask around on Discord to find out why I can't find anything on the internet. I did a Google search and I did a YouTube search, and in both cases I came up blank. Nothing relating to a material interface whatsoever. So it's a mystery. Once you've created all of those, your variables should look like this. Your variable list should look like this. And what you're going to do is, under your construction script or on begin play, you're going to add the, you're going to right click and you're going to type in create ISM or whatever you named that for creating the instance static mesh, and you're going to select that and add it to this, and then you're going to type in add ISM and add that to this, and then you're going to drag your current position out and you're going to set it, and then you're going to drag your offset out and you're going to get it, and you're going to set your current position to your offset position. Now you can also do that after the fact, but I will get to that later, so I'm going to undo that for a second. Now under your create ISM, you're going to right click and you're going to add instance static mesh component. As you can see right here, it creates a new component and assigns ownership to the actor. This is called for. And you're gonna drag out your instance static mesh, you're gonna set it, and you're gonna set it to that return value. And then you're gonna execute it like that. Once you've done that, you're gonna set your static mesh, ring it out, get it. One second. You're going to drag off of this one, the instance static mesh that you just set for as the created instance static mesh component, and you're going to drag off of here and you're going to type in set static mesh. And then under the new mesh, you're going to set the static mesh as the new mesh for this one. Now you're going to drag off of here and type in reroute, add a reroute node, and then drag off of that and type in set collision enabled, or set enable collision. Oh no, set collision enabled, yeah. And you're going to turn this to collision enabled, query in physics. Now it's not going to simulate physics on this. I don't think we're going to do that, but I'm not sure you can even do that on a, oh no, I'm sure you can. Let's see. So if you select it under here, no, actually, I don't think you can. I don't think instance static meshes by default have physics enabled, but you might be able to set the physics. You'll have to scroll through here and look for it. Anyway, so I'm not sure about that, but we're going to get our weld materials. We're going to drag off of it, do a for each loop, and then we're going to drag off of our instance static mesh that we set, and we're going to set material. You might need to scroll down a little bit. It's not that one. Sometimes it shows up at the very bottom. Here it is right here. No, that's for volumetric clouds. Target is primitive component. That's the one you want. That is under material and set material, and it'll say the target is primitive component. You're going to attach that. Then you're going to set the array element as the material and the array index as the element index. So now let me just break this down for you. What you're doing is you're creating an instance static mesh. You're setting it to your component instance static mesh. Then you're setting the static mesh of that instance static mesh as your static mesh that you will choose inside of your component. When you drag it and drop it onto this scene, you'll come over here and it'll show up. And I was going to show you too that if you want to put it in its own category, you can just select this and type in whatever test in this example, and then test will show up in the drop down after you do that. And then anything else any other variable you create that you might want to add to this, for instance instance static mesh count, you can pull it down and you can add that one to your test over here. And then you can compile it and save it, and you can come over here, and now it's in its own tab up here at the top called test. So you can select your static mesh, make it whatever you want, and when we're done, you can type in your mesh count and press enter, and it'll spawn them. If you want them to be further away, you can type in a new value and then type in 5 again, and they'll be more spread apart. Or maybe you want them to be 200 apart, and now they're 200 apart. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. So we're setting the static mesh, we're setting the collision for this instance static mesh. Then for each wall material element, which is part of the material interface, we're setting the material for the primitive component for that instance static mesh. Now we're going to come down here and we're going to drag out our instance static mesh count. We're going to type in the greater than symbol, and then we're going to say integer is greater than integer, and we're going to leave that at 0. We're going to pull off of here this boolean that it returns, and we're going to type in while and what this is saying is while this mesh count is greater than 0, keep calling this loop body. And so we're going to drag it out again, get it again. We're going to type in decrement int. And what this is doing is it's subtracting 1 from the specified value, then it's setting it. That means that you don't need to drag off of here again and set it, or drag out from here and set it, and then set it like that. You don't need to do that because it does it automatically. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get our instance static mesh. We're adding an instance, right? We're just right clicking, add instance. Now you can add instance in local space, or you can add it in world space. I recommend adding them in local space because adding them in world space, you'll need to do a bit more calculation, but it's not that difficult to get your world space. As you see here, I just drug out the default scene root, and I typed in get world location. And under here, under utilities transform, get world location. So let's add our instance. Now for our transform, we're going to get the default scene root like I just showed you, drag this out. Get world location. Now we're going to add that to our current position. We need to create a transform. We can right click here and split this one, and then we can plug this into the instance transform location. Now off of here, we need to set our current position to the offset plus our current position. Let's see, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so what we're doing here, just to recap, is we're checking each time it calls this while loop. It's going to check to see if the current instance static mesh count is greater than 0, and if it is, it's going to subtract 1 from the instance static mesh count. Then it's going to add an instance to the instance static mesh at this location, which is set here by the scene root world location plus our current position. And then we're adding our offset to our current position and setting it as our new current position. And then it's going to call it again. If this still is greater than 0, it's going to do all this all over again. And it's going to keep doing that until this brings the instance static mesh count down below 0. Actually, it might be greater than 1. Let's see. Let's say I do 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I did it right. So it's 0. No need to set it to 1. So that's pretty much it, guys. After you've done all that, I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to compile it, save it, and then you're going to get this and you're going to drag it out into your scene. You're going to come over here, you're going to select it. Well, it should already be selected. Under your static mesh right here, you're going to scroll through here and choose a static mesh. You're going to set your offset. It'll be dependent on this. If you wanted to, you could even get your static mesh and you could Let's see. You could type in get bounds. Oops. Get bounds. Mesh get bounds. Yeah, no, it's a static mesh one. They have so many here. Get bounds, you can right click on here and split struct. And you could right click on here, or you could drag it out and say break vector. And then you could set your offset. To say x multiplied by 2, and you could set that as your you could right click on it and split the struct and set that as your offset for your x. And then you see what it does? 2 is probably a little off, I guess. Let's see. Let's try multiplying it by a float, and we'll say 1.5. And there you go. You see? Now I have a somewhat seamless one. You might have to play with that value to make sure you're not getting any clipping. Let me do a wall. So if I do this LP wall right here, let's say 5. And then if it were overlapping, you would see Z fighting at the areas where it overlaps, but it doesn't look like it's overlapping. So just to try to see if it does it, we'll set it to 1. Oops. Okay, well, in this case, it's not doing it. Maybe because it's an instance static mesh, but sometimes you'll get Z fighting. So just keep that in mind. But you might even be able to go as high as 1.8. We'll see. Yeah, that looks fine. And there you go. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comments. Let me know. So I hope this helped somebody. Hope they learned something. And have a nice day.